Good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending the Quincy Veterans Home Virtual Job Fair event. I would like to introduce you to Amanda over at Quincy Veterans Home. Amanda will tell you about her organization, the current job openings that they have, and how to go about applying for those openings. Amanda, are you available to present?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Daniel. Good morning. As Daniel said, my name is Amanda Marlowe. I am the HR specialist here at our Quincy location. Also joining us today is Sonia Gove. She is an HR specialist with our central office. So we're here to talk about some of the employment opportunities that we have here with IDVA, specifically the Veterans Home in Quincy. So this is just kind of the first slide is, being a part of a team that serves the people of Illinois. This is meaningful work. We're serving our veterans. There's lots of opportunities for career advancement, and there's many career opportunities close to home right here in Quincy. Next slide, please. Some of the benefits that for the state of Illinois would be our state employee retirement plan. There's a monthly pension income, and then there's also survivor benefits. We also offer a deferred compensation plan with a Roth IRA option. And then we love to promote our work-life balance. We have paid vacations, paid holidays, sick time, and then paid maternity and paternity leave. With the paid vacations, those are one of the things I really enjoy coming from the private sector is we had the big 6 or 8 vacation days, and there are more vacation days here working as a state employee. And that has been a really great benefit to me and my family. I'm able to spend more time with my kids with the holidays. Also, the paid maternity and paternity leave is 10 weeks. And so that is a really awesome benefit as well. The next slide, please. We also have professional development opportunities. So we have the Upward Mobility Program. That is a paid education and training program that helps you keep projecting in your career and moving on into advancing positions. There's also the CMS University where you can take classes to help with your professional development. And then we also have a public student loan forgiveness that you could possibly qualify for to help offset some of your expenses with student loans. Next slide. Our healthcare benefits are excellent. We have health, vision, and dental benefits. They're no waiting. So your first day you work, you're covered with health, dental, and vision insurance for yourself and for your family if you elect to do so. We also have a life insurance policy and then voluntary options where you could buy up. There's optional pre-tax programs, including like a flexible spending account, dependent flex account, and then a medical care assistance program. Next slide, please. One of the really cool programs that we offer, we take pride in the health of our employees. So we have Be Well Illinois. There's awareness articles, wellness webinars, and those include financial wellness resources. That's kind of a big thing. We're all feeling the crunch of the current economic situation. So getting ourselves into a spot where we're financially stable and well is kind of on the forefront and a huge thing right now. There's health plan programs and resources, fitness articles, and then there's a kids corner dedicated to the little ones, kind of with family wellness articles and resources. Next slide, please. There are 5 locations for veterans homes throughout Illinois. We're here at Quincy. It's our oldest home. You've probably heard of the Illinois Soldiers and Sailors Home. We have been around, I believe, since 1886. We're celebrating 135 years. So we definitely take pride in our campus. One of the awesome things going on here locally at Quincy is we have are under new construction, and maybe next time we'll have some awesome pictures on the slide of what our new construction looks like. We're very excited about that. Next slide, please. These are some of the high need professional job titles that we have available. We are hiring for licensed practical nurses, LPNs, registered nurses, and both of those are posted currently to our website. We also are looking for a managing nurse that is currently posted. These are some of the other positions that we have at times, like social services, dietary manager, health information, and volunteer, but those currently are not posted at this time. Next slide, please. We also have paraprofessional job titles that we are hiring for. We're always needing veterans nursing assistants certified. Those are CNA positions. We have many of those posted currently. We also have support service worker for dietary currently posted. And these are some of the positions. I like to just have them on here because it's good to know what the options are once you get your foot in the door here with IDVA at the Veterans Home in Quincy. There's, you know, other options as far as like activity aides, cooks, office associates, support service coordinators. So there is definitely an upward mobility projectile where you can kind of definitely advance your career. Next slide, please. So this is, you know, the QR codes in the lower corner. You would scan that, and that would bring you to workforillinois.gov. From this site, you would be able to create a profile, register an account, and then you can sign up for notifications if you are interested in kind of getting emails when we have new positions open. And then also that's where you would see our current openings. We always direct everybody, when you do go to that site, you can do a search by location, put Quincy in the location, and you will see all of the current openings that we have, and we have quite a few right now. So, I believe that's the last slide.
That is correct. Thank you so much for that presentation, Amanda. And again, I see some movement in the chat already, so please continue to use that chat feature function, if you will, in your Zoom toolbar, and we'll go ahead and answer any questions that you folks have for Amanda and Sonia over at IDVA. So Amanda, I'm not sure if you're able to pull up to the chat and see some of the questions that we have already, but I'll go ahead and pull from here. So I see somebody is asking, they're actually looking for a social worker position. They've not seen a specific job or title related to that. Do you know of any that perhaps would be open at the Veterans Home? And if not, you know, where folks might be directed to be able to find titles as such?
Yes, so I would definitely recommend creating a profile on the website and signing up for notifications. Currently, we do not have any social worker positions posted, but I do know that we have openings coming up at some point in time, and we will be posting. So I can't give a great time frame right now of when that will be, but I do recommend going ahead, creating the profile on the workforillinois.gov website and signing up for the email notifications. And then when we do post, typically you receive an email within 24 hours. So.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Amanda. And then also I had another question here in the chat as well. Could you maybe elaborate more on the CNA type position that you have? I know that you listed in the title, but I don't think it's specifically listed it as CNA. Can you just kind of elaborate on that for the folks that are on the call that are interested in that position, Amanda?
Sure. You would have to be a current CNA in the state of Illinois and completed the basic training. I can't exactly remember what that is called off the top of my head, but you would need to actually have participated in that and passed your tests for that. I do think that people who are in LPN school can contact like their local community college and do the check off and possibly work as a CNA while they're in school, but they would need to get some more information locally. That's John Wood Community College. But it is a CNA like you would see. They have to be certified nurse aide, and it's pretty standard to what you would typically see at a long-term care facility. The job duties are actually listed in the post for VNAC, and so it would be really similar to most CNA duties that you would see. We are looking to fill, our dire need is the 3 to 11 position. And then we do need overnights. There are a few day positions available, but those possibly could go to some of our current staff. They're allowed to bid on those as well. What I will say is for the first time, we're offering part-time CNA positions, which is you would still work a full shift, an 8-hour shift, but it would be 3 days a week instead of 5, and for 24 hours a week total. And we're hoping that we can help accommodate school schedules and people that want to be weekend warriors, things like that. So yeah, does that kind of answer the CNA question, or do you want me to go into more detail?
I think that probably answered it based on some of the back and forth in the chat there. Thank you, Amanda. But if there are any questions regarding that, feel free to throw them in there, and of course we'll pose them to Amanda to get answered for you. This question I think will go towards Amanda and or Sonia. Again, just in general, somebody asked, how long will I have to wait to hear back if I finish an online app today? Can you just give folks maybe a general idea of what that hiring process or timeline looks like, Amanda and or Sonia?
Yeah, absolutely. So after the posting closes, then it typically, we have to do some, pull some reports. We have the upward mobility program that I mentioned. And so we have to wait, pull some reports. And then typically we're ready to prepare a list of employee or possible employees, candidates, I guess I should say, candidates within a week. And then we work with CMS. Obviously, that's our CMS is our partner in all of this, to kind of come up with our list of candidates ranked kind of in the order that we call them. This is a non-interview position. So that means that you can actually be hired without going through the interview process. And this was a change that CMS made at some point in time to help fill some of our needs, because with the COVID crisis, we were obviously in a dire staffing need. And so that is a non-interview position. And we're hoping that within a month, we would be able to call and start making offers. Now, sometimes it does take a little while to work through the list, but I know that personally, I see Sonia put on here, if you don't hear from us within a month, to contact the Quincy Home HR department. I'm really great about kind of answering questions and letting possible employees know, candidates, exactly where we're at in the process, how close we are to getting through it. So it does take a little bit of time, especially when you have the openings that we have, but we're hoping to move through them as quickly as possible.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Amanda. And another great question that came into the chat here says, are the support service worker positions requiring a grade of some kind, as my coordinator position at Human Services did? So maybe just kind of a generalized answer to that question, just to give folks an idea. If there are certain positions that you covered here today that don't require a grade.
So I think Sonia.
Sure, if I could take that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and Amanda, you can add anything, but right now, as opposed to before, we used to take in applications, and if you were from the outside, other means you were not a current state employee, you would receive a letter. It was more of a referral, and it gave you what your grade was. Well, we have now turned to an electronic type hire. So we receive all of the applications. A lot of times the applications will just ask you some minimum requirement type questions, just to see that you have the qualifications to be able to do the job. Some of our positions are no interview right now. And what happens is after the posting does come down, they go to CMS, and CMS gives them a grade. But this is not something that's going to be mailed to you like it was before. And they are actually being a little bit more quicker. So we usually get them back, because we are a 24-hour facility and for direct care, we have been seeing them back within 1 week. So just to give you a timeline, it's not a bad thing. Right now, we are doing many posts for direct care, so we are going to work them as a priority. So if it is a priority type title, we will get through those very quickly and try to fill those in. We will work through contractual rights first. So that kind of adds a little bit of time, and all of our steps are being approved by CMS. So like I said in there, if you haven't heard anything, give it a month. If you haven't heard anything, feel free to contact Quincy Home, and then they will let you know where that is. And usually it's not going to take very much longer from that time. I hope that answered your question, but if there's anything else to add, please do so.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Sonia. And looks like we have somebody with some audio issues here, so I'll go ahead and message her in the chat, but we'll keep questions coming. If you do have any questions, if you are a participant on the line for either Sonia or Amanda, feel free to enter those into the chat. We'll go ahead and get those answered for you. In the meantime, Sonia and or Amanda, just a few other kind of baseline questions I'd like to go ahead and cover here today, just to give folks a little bit of a better idea as to what to expect. So Sonia or Amanda, you may have covered this, but just again, I want to be thorough here. If folks have questions, how should they go about getting them answered? What would be the best means of doing so that you'd suggest?
I would suggest reaching out to the Quincy Home HR department with specific questions. Our number is 217-640-2480, and we'll be able to assist in any way. Also, if you're having trouble with creating your profile on the Work for Illinois website, we do have a in-person job fair today, so you can actually come on down to our beautiful campus and get some personalized assistance to help you in creating that profile and actually applying for some of our open positions. So, but our HR department's ready and available to assist in any way.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. And can you remind folks today when the in-person event will be taking place? I believe it's at 2 p.m. to 6?
Yes, that's correct. 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And it is in our Stone building. So if you were to come in on the 12th Street entrance, follow it all the way to the end is the tall stone building, hence the name Stone Building, right at the end of the road.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Amanda. And again, I'm not seeing any additional questions here in the chat, but just want to remind folks, if you do have any questions, feel free to throw those in. I just have a few more questions for you folks here today. So Amanda, just a real quick question. Are there any minimum educational requirements that folks need to possess to apply for the positions that you covered here today?
There are for the support service worker, we're looking at someone who has the equivalency of a high school education and then some knowledge in the in like a dietary function, and that is all listed. The details are listed in the job posting. As far as the other positions, the CNA position, you would have to be currently certified as a nursing assistant in the state of Illinois. LPNs and RNs, obviously we would need that license. You would have to be currently licensed as an LPN or RN of the state of Illinois. And then the PSA is a registered nurse position. And so you would have to have both the RN license and then the equivalency of like a 4-year degree or knowledge of that would be equivalent to a 4-year degree. So there are, like I said, each of the posts actually has the details as far as the educational requirements.
Excellent. Thank you, Amanda. And then just another general question to kind of give folks a little bit of an edge here. As far as, the resume or filling out an application, is there anything that folks should include in either of those elements or aspects, if you will, to help them stand out and kind of advance to that next stage of the interview process?
I think that attaching a copy of your license or certificate is helpful if you're able to do so for those relevant positions. As far as like the support service worker, I always recommend on your application to be as detailed as possible. I know that at times you see with electronic systems, individuals will upload their resume and maybe not take the time to fill out the actual application part. And I recommend doing so because that will kind of help speed up that qualification review process if it's actually in the application as well. So I would say just complete as thoroughly as possible. If you do have a license or a certification that you can attach, I would definitely recommend doing so. It's always nice to be sure to include references if you're able to do that. It is a standardized working for the state. There is a very fair and standardized hiring plan. And so, we definitely follow the guidance of CMS. So I always recommend just being as thorough as possible.
Also, make sure to leave your contact information, especially for some of those titles. An email is the only thing we have. And a lot of times we want to contact you as soon as possible, and we want to give you a call, let you know that an email was sent. Also, if you do check your emails, you might need to go to your spam for it. So those kind of things also would help. She covered being detailed. Just a contact number is always helpful as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Sonia. And then a couple more questions here. I think this one was already covered, but I think she had some audio issues. Can you just let folks real briefly again, remind them kind of the interview process and how they'll go about, getting notified if they've been selected for an interview, so on and so forth?
So after you apply on the website, you will receive an auto-generated email that says that your application has been received. When we are ready to start calling to either interview or make offers, those calls will come from myself. And that is why Sonia said it's so important to have an up-to-date phone number on your profile, so we're not actually trying to email you, wait to get a contact number. And then typically, obviously, there are some requirements, conditions of employment that you will see in the job posting that include like a pre-employment physical and drug test, a background check, also COVID requirements. And you will just need to be sure to complete all of those as timely as possible. And that information will be presented at the time of an offer for a non-interview position. And then I would say, 3 to 4 weeks, you would be receiving a call. And then timeliness is of the utmost importance when getting your background check completed and your pre-employment physical and COVID testing, pre-screenings, things of that nature.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Amanda. And then I did see we got another question there in the chat. I think Sonia was answering it as well, but hopefully I'm pronouncing this correctly. Are the interviews still the Rutan interviews or Rutan interviews? Hopefully you know that question.
So there's still structured interviews where we ask the same questions to the candidates, everything. We don't call them Rutan, we just call them structured interviews. But they are run basically the same way. So if you're familiar with them, they are like that.
Awesome. Thank you for that clarification, Sonia. A lot of great questions coming in. Again, just want to make an additional call for any additional questions that you might have for either Sonia or Amanda today. In the meantime, Amanda or Sonia or the two of you, if you'd like to kind of go ahead and give kind of a summary statement, closing remarks, if you will, for the session here, give folks just kind of a takeaway of the session here today, maybe highlight some important points in the presentation, anything that you want folks to take away from the session here today, feel free to do so now.
I think that one of the things that I would like to just bring up is obviously call our HR department if you have any questions. You know, we're here to assist. We want to help in any way if you're having trouble with the application process. But what I do want to mention most importantly is that it is very rewarding to work here with the group that we serve. I've worked in long-term care for 10 years previously, which in and of itself is so rewarding because you are helping to care for individuals that have lived a long life and they are at a vulnerable state. And the idea of being able to give the families peace of mind knowing that their loved one is taken care of is so, it just makes you feel good at the end of the day. You know you've done something that truly matters. And then on top of it, working here at the Veterans Home, we're serving veterans and maybe perhaps their spouses. And I think that, you know, when everything's said and done, that's what we're here for, is to serve people who have given their lives for, well, not their lives, but they have given in some ways for our country as far as making sacrifices and needs. And I just want to say that it is really a fulfilling line of work. And we want great people and we want caring people. And we really look forward to meeting everyone.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Amanda. And I see that Sonia also threw the link to apply in the chat as well. You'll also see up on your screen that QR code right there in the bottom right-hand corner. So feel free to use your phone or other mobile device to scan that QR code, and it should take you directly to work.illinois.gov where you can apply for these positions. Looks like we did get one more question that came in the chat. The question was, does the support service worker position require a vacancy bid? The application site is slightly different than before.
Okay, so if you're not a current state employee, it will be the same process as like a non-state. So if you are a state employee, there is a link that is for state employees. You will use your illinois.gov email for that. But no worries, if you're not, just go through the process. There is no bid record. You used to put a bid form. There is no bid form necessary now. The only form that is necessary is if you're doing a transfer. So you would first need to be a state employee. So hopefully that answers your question. You apply. If it is a title with a certificate or a license, please add those in. And again, the contact information, we want to be able to reach you. So give us as many contacts as you are able to. And good luck.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Sonia. And of course, thank you, Amanda, as well, for the wonderful information that you all shared with us today and being here on standby for questions for all of the participants on the call. A few things that I want to note before we kind of close things out here today is that the session has been recorded and it will be uploaded to the Illinois workNet YouTube channel within 48 hours of the conclusion of this event. You'll be able to see everything that was covered here today. You'll have access to all the QR codes and various links that are in the presentation here. So please do check at that location and you'll be able to, of course, have access to the recording. Additionally, if you registered for this event, which I presume you all have, if you had the link to join, I will be forwarding that registration report, if you will, over to both Sonia and Amanda post-event as well. So they will have access to all of your contact information, demographical information, everything that you entered to register for the event today. So they will have access to that information as well. Looks like one additional question that came in here. And this individual asked, can we go back and add certificates to our application? I'm presuming she means if one's already been sent.
I'm not really sure if you can add to that specific application, but my understanding is you have a profile and you can add certifications and everything on there. And I'm getting a yes from James Hill, so thank you. Yes, so you can add it to your profile and it should be there to assist your application.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that clarification, Sonia. And just had some more thank you messages come in. Again, just reiterating, we will have the link to the recording up within 48 hours. I'll be forwarding that registration report to both folks at the Quincy Veterans Home and the IDVA. And again, if you would like to swing by the in-person event as well today, that'll be happening from 2 to 6 p.m. And I believe the address was added here as well in the chat by Sonia. Looks like it's at 1707 North 12th Street, Stone Hall, again from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So if you want to stop by in person, feel free to do so as well. Aside from that, thank you so much, Sonia and Amanda, for your time today. Much appreciated. Hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.